The Aongatete Coolstore opened today for the first time since the fatal crash last Tuesday night, which killed 5 staff. The 5 workers died, of course, after their car collided with a logging truck just after their shift ended around 8 p.m. They were leaving work for the day. Packhouse manager Clive Exelby told me earlier this afternoon the company had set up a bank account to establish trust funds for the men's families back in Tonga.
So we started this morning with some reading from the Word of God and some prayers, and so that was good. And then we just kind of explained what the week was going to go. And people have been quite positive. There are some people who were more deeply affected, and kind of like a couple of ladies who were very close to where the accident scene was and when it happened, and they don't feel that they want to work after dark tonight, because we will be working till 8 o'clock tonight.
It must be, certainly prior to the accident, a fairly happy, noisy, family-like workplace, is it, or was it?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we have 8 nationalities represented here, 5 of them from the Pacific Islands, and they tend to get in their groups and joke around. The islanders, particularly the Tongans, are quite fun-loving, and that was, when they'd finished that fateful night at 8 p.m, is that there was a lot of joking about who got a ride home in a car and who had to go home in the company bus, and we know that kind of jesting was going on. But that's normally their nature, where they're kidding one another along, and so we have a pretty international kind of group of people. We've also just hired some backpackers today who'll help us to fill some of those gaps. So that's not only the 5 deceased, but also some of their families who work here, who will be travelling back to Tonga for the services in Tonga end of this week.
It's a huge expense for those people, isn't it? And not only is it lost income, it's about getting home, the airfares, getting to Auckland to fly out. It's a big undertaking. And I know Halani, Kole, Samuela, Sione and Uluwapini were, I think in 4 of the 5 cases, sending almost everything they earned back home, weren't they? And so you've set up a trust account to give money back to their families in Tonga?
Yes, that's true. There is Give It a Little page, which I haven't personally looked at, but that's set up by a Tongan minister, and besides the they have compulsory. The RSC people have compulsory insurance, so some of the expenses are covered by insurance. Some of them are covered by ACC, so they've been all very good going forward, but the expenses are fairly large, and so the company has set up this trust fund to assist that, but also a trust fund to assist with the ongoing education of the children, because Stephen has the children at home that are still at school. I think he's got 2 children no longer being educated. And then Samuela and Sione both had very young children that will all need help in the years to come. So we've set up that trust fund for that dual purpose.
And you've put an initial $5,000 into it, and then it's open for public donations.
Correct, that's right. Plus there have already been quite a lot of donations, but also from some of the companies that we are dealing with in the packhouse. Some of the packaging companies, Zestfree Marketing themselves, have been very generous, and so we're very appreciative of all that help.
So how much money have you got so far, Clive, roughly?
I think it's somewhere in the vicinity of 12,000. So.
That's pretty magic, and that's before you've gone to the public at all. That's just money that's come in advance of the public donations.
That's correct, yeah. So that's and then public, because we're only just beginning to publicise the trust account now. And so that's, so we expect that number will climb now, and also as we begin to publish to some of the wider world about the trust account.
Clive Ixelby, who is the packhouse manager and employed all 5 of the men who died.